Are you getting any sense that you're able to capture your capacity back from non-value added activities where people are wondering, who to ask a question to or what is this made of? And now they have someplace to go. So it's actually making people more efficient in their duties.
I absolutely think so. OvalEdge has acted as, and I mentioned this in the blog as well. It has had that water cooler effect. We have dedicated people within my team that have done a fantastic job of really, bringing a community sense to this whole purpose of managing our data effectively and making sure that people are getting the biggest value out of it. They're extracting the value. And what OvalEdge has been able to do is provide the efficiencies in terms of not having to rely on, some kind of tribal knowledge or talking to, somebody they know within the team and then waiting to get a response, etc. Now they can go and self-help themselves. And what's more interesting is now we are able to crowdsource the
Mm,
glossary to people that really should be involved in defining some of these terms. And in the past, when we had a data dictionary, our business analysts within our team would define, take a term like member. We would say, okay, maybe member is not a good example. Take a different term where what is um, a segment, generational segment, say. You'd say,
mm,
okay, this generational segment is based on age, but somebody from the business could add a lot more color in terms of how they define something. And this is what is happening now. We are able to crowdsource this to people within the business. They are able to say, hey, I don't like this the way you've described this. Let me give you my
mhm.
input. They add value that way. And now they're
Right,
taking ownership of something that they are part of, and they're able to
right.
contribute. And I think this is the only way to scale. If there's one team that is heavily bottlenecked in terms of being able to provide all of the service and also interjecting on matters that we may not be experts in. I mean, we bring in the
Mhm.
data, we do all of the hard work in terms of harmonizing it, but we have to rely on the subject matter experts to, provide better
Right.
definitions, to add context and, you know, um, their perspective on what a data item is and what is the trust level of that. So this is something we have within OvalEdge also. How much is it being used? Where is it being sourced from? All of that is automatically provided, right? So they can look at the
Yes.
lineage of a metric within a report and trace it back to which system it is coming from and who is responsible for creating it. Now they have
Right.
a contact to go to if they have specific questions.
Yes, and it's been exciting to watch for you with you and your team as the evolution of the business description has taken place because we have that collaboration.
Hmm.
And so we started with 75 characters in the business description, and then someone asked a question, and then shout out to Stacy and Eric. They've
Yeah,
continued to grow those definitions. Every time a question is asked,
absolutely.
we learn more about it. So now when I'm looking at the definitions, it says this is used in regulatory reporting. Well, now somebody that wants
Right.
to change the requirements for that segment knows don't mess with this. This is a
Exactly.
regulatory reporting field. And there's other ways to delineate that as well, but it's just been really great because you see as all of that locally obtained knowledge starts to get contributed to that item in your business
Correct.
glossary, and then everyone knows that the first two digits of this contract means the region that the contract is to be deployed in. I was here for 8 years and I've never known that. And you start hearing people say
Right.
things like that, and
Yeah.
it's definitely palatable in what I see happening in your organization.
Yeah, and I think that one thing that Stacy and Eric have been able to do is to drive that excitement around this. They have created these things. And initially, I was a little skeptical. They have these sessions that they would offer from time to time, where they set up these office hours and have people come to them with questions they had about the data. And I was like, really, would they participate? But I'm just amazed at the adoption from the business and their excitement about, uh, you know, participating in these sessions, learning more, and helping to drive the quality and the definitions and what's really adding context and color to all of the data that we have, which is fantastic. To me, this is what successful data governance looks like. It adds value. It
Absolutely.
is something that everybody can participate in, and it resonates with the users.